because they're learning what is relevant, and also helpful to faculty in terms of easing their load. This was recommendation number 8 within the 25 recommendations of the Strong Workforce Program adopted by the Board of Governors. And I'll also note that any improvement to streamline the curriculum process is not only helpful to CTE faculty, but to all faculty across the entire college, and entire college would benefit. So Vice Chancellor Walker and I invited a panel today to prelude the impending changes that are to come. You can see on the slides above, we have Doug Houston, who is Chancellor of the Yuba Community College District, Virginia Gulov, who is Chief Instructional Officer at Butte College, and Dolores Davison, who is faculty at Foothill College. And as you can see, all of them have side jobs in terms of state-level advisory roles that they play. And so they come here to speak to you on this issue. So I'll open it up with a question to Chancellor Houston. You know, your region has a history of working together very collaboratively, and lately the employers of the region identified a need in advanced sonographers, which is an allied health field. So these are great paying jobs for students, and the healthcare field tends to favor credit instead of non-credit, so there's no avoiding the curriculum approval process. You shepherded your region through a curriculum streamlining pilot. Could you share with us, is it possible to streamline a process and still uphold quality?
So if this sounds like a softball question, there's a good reason for that. If I could put this in perspective, and some of you know, most of us in the state have experienced that it can take up to 12 to even 18 months from the time that we conceive of a curriculum till we're actually able to deliver that curriculum. And most of that time lag occurs after the curriculum leaves the hands of our local college subject matter experts, our faculty. So the work that they do, which is the primary work for the quality of the curriculum, so I'm going to get to answering Vice Chancellor Quinlivan's question in just a second. Most of the time that occurs after that curriculum has had its quality review, most of that time occurs after that. And while most of the steps in those processes to ultimate review are technical and administrative in nature, they're seemingly intended to ensure quality, but I think most of us around the state have felt for quite some time that they were not necessarily achieving that intended outcome and were in fact bottlenecks to delivering curriculum in a more timely fashion. So I would like to start by expressing my appreciation to all of you, President Estolano, Vice President Epstein, Chancellor Oakley, the members of the board. Your support for this project, as the Chancellor has indicated, is going to have sweeping effects for all of us around the state. The State Academic Senate for a number of years has been working to improve and educate local curriculum development processes. The work that we did, I would submit, touched all the rest of the processes from there, but the work that we did was a great partnership with leadership from the State Academic Senate, with leadership from the 15 colleges in our region, and then partnered with leadership here at the State Chancellor's office. And we focused on really all three aspects of, in this case, workforce curriculum, but the work that we did was intended to address curriculum review for curriculum, whether it was workforce or transfer, general education curriculum. So the three pieces specifically with respect to workforce curriculum are the local approval processes, the regional review for recommendation, and then the state chaptering process. And because we had this rich partnership, we were actually able to address all three pieces. And so in very direct answer to the softball question, yes, it is absolutely possible to reduce the amount of time. And we would argue, if not ensure, perhaps even improve the quality of the curriculum, because we have stripped away many of the pieces of the process that were impediments to delivering curriculum. And with that, I'll turn it over to my colleagues to walk us through the work that we did.
Good afternoon, everyone. So you can see the slide that Chancellor Houston was talking about, and in our processes, we really focused and honed in on who has what authority. And again, regional recommendation was what we were focusing on in North Far North, since that's our CTE region, but we also affirmed the local approval and the chaptering functions of the Chancellor's office. And so within that, from a CIO and from a curriculum and academic senate perspective, we looked at how we could change processes and really honor the local approval process. And Dolores and I co-chair the California Community College Curriculum Committee, 5C, formerly SAC, so the System Advisory Committee on Curriculum, yes. So what happened in the name change was also a very important shift. We moved from being an advisory committee to a recommending committee. And through that recommending committee, for the past 2.5, 3 years, we've been working on this. So the arrival of Recommendation 8 for CTE programs was also perfectly timed with some of the other curriculum processes and streamlining we've been looking at in that committee. And one of those that really gelled after this work was the idea that the local CIOs and curriculum chairs really have a role in certifying the curriculum so that when it goes to the local board of trustees and is approved, it's pretty much a done deal. And that is according to education code, right? So what we mean by certification is now, in terms of credit courses, we can locally approve and certify new credit course proposals to existing credit programs, substantial and non-substantial changes to existing credit courses, and also standalone proposals. And it was originally the standalone work, the bringing that back to our local curriculum committees and the authority for that to certify that, and then these other things we were able to stack on top of it. It may seem like a short list of 4 items, but this really, really makes our curriculum processes so much more speedy. It helps us get things into catalogs and out to students so much more quickly. And working with our Chancellor's Office partners, it helps us to redefine the role of the Chancellor's Office, which Pam will address, and really have the Chancellor's Office be more of a resource for us after we've gone through our local processes. We also feel, too, that in this we modeled some excellent collaboration at all levels with CEOs, CIOs, the Chancellor's Office, and Academic Senate. And we hope that that's a model that will continue locally onto all the campuses, too, as we work together to streamline these processes. And I'm going to turn this over to Dolores now.
Thank you. I want to point out that these discussions began in the fall of 2014 about standalone courses. SAC at that time asked for research from the Chancellor's Office about how many courses there were, how long it was taking, and whether or not we could legally return that approval to the local colleges. And it took a while, and it actually took really until Dr. Walker came into her position, and we got Jackie Escajeda and the rest of the academic affairs team in place. Working with them has been a joy, as has been working with our CIO partners and our CEO partners and the other, with WED and the other divisions in academic affairs. But once we got that started, we started looking, as Virginia said, at all of the other areas. And the certification, which will require faculty approval as well as CIO approval, so it's not just going to fall on the burden of the CIOs, it will be on both groups. And this is for all curriculum, as Vice Chancellor Ton Quinlivan pointed out, and as Chancellor Houston pointed out, curriculum is curriculum is curriculum. There are not separate processes. There may be different steps, but the process is the same, and it should be the same for all curriculum, regardless of what modality it is, what discipline it is, and the like. So the certification provides assurances to everyone, basically, the public, the board, and so on, that the various documents and various things that need to be used, the PCA, the Chancellor's Office course calculations, that training has been done, that all of that has been done for all credit curriculum that falls under the certification. We intend to hold a series of regional workshops with our local curriculum committees to talk through their processes and see if there are additional ways that they can streamline what they are doing. The Curriculum Institute, which the Academic Senate puts on in July of every year, is our largest institute. We expect about 700 people this year, and typically that's about 90% of the statewide curriculum chairs. This entire rollout is going to be one of the general sessions with the Chancellor's office so that we'll be able to disseminate that information to a really large group. And we've got a pretty good timeline in place that Dr. Walker will talk about.
And Pam, before we go there, I also want to say that we rolled out this certification in October with the CIO group, and that we are currently crafting, I think Pam is going to talk about this, a white paper to get this out to the field so that we can clarify. Because with this new power of certification comes some responsibility and an opportunity to revisit for training for CIOs.
So let me just do this one thing first and tell you, this is how everybody always looks when we talk about curriculum. It's like, what are they talking about? So here I am.
You just lost me at PCAW, that's all.
I could see it.
Program Course Approval Handbook, sorry.
That was not in our agenda.
Right. So one of the things that happens, I get hired. I'm a new faculty member. I love teaching history. I love it. She just told me that she spent all day doing something with Russian. The Rise of Muscovy. Who cares? But she does. And her important work that she does is getting that curriculum in place. So a group of people on a participatory governance comes around once a week and sits around and talks about curriculum. What does the college believe in? Why should we put out the kind of curriculum we do? And before that, we have a tech review. Because if you have someone that's talking about a history, you have a counselor on the other side saying, I don't know if this fits in the ADTs. I don't think the period is in the right place. You've got to move. They spend a significant time on campus talking about curriculum. Why do we want to do this work? Why do we want to teach it? Any of you who have been faculty know that. So here's the curriculum process. We do it on campus, and then we send it to a place called the Chancellor's office. Having been a former person that sent it to the Chancellor's office, because I was in Sacramento, I'd come down with my curriculum and sit there and say, just assign it, would you? Because if you just send it, it takes a while to get through the process. Then we did some things in the state. We started a new curriculum inventory. We went to something called repeatability. We put something together called ADTs, and massive amounts of curriculum come to the state chancellor's office. So what we're going to try to do with your support, and you've already supported some of this because you looked at that one standalone course. I wanted to teach a course years ago called Women in Sport. I thought it was a great course. I thought everybody would love it. And they did. It was a standalone course. It didn't fit anywhere. Women in Sport. It was perfect. If you want to teach a course that's new and exciting and different, you might put that course in play. And then if it looks like it's something like biotech a few years ago, you want to teach biotech, faculty member A, let's do it. Let's do 2 courses, one in the fall, one in the spring. If it works, let's put together a full program. That's the kind of stuff that faculty are doing all the time. But there's this process of bureaucracy. So one of the things that we realized is that where are all the places that curriculum comes up in Title V? It's everywhere. Jackie Escajeda, our dean, who is marvelous, is working with Jake and others to look at every spot that curriculum comes up in Title V, and we're going to be bringing that back to you. Because there are a lot of places that we can identify Title V language that relates that we could change. And if you look at from 1 year it started to 4th year that it was here, it's all in different places. So we've done some really important work there. So we'll be developing BOG items for first read in March, and hopefully you will see to approve that in May. We'll continue to work with the Butte Technology Center in developing a new statewide inventory. We're going to call it lovingly the Chancellor's Office Curriculum Inventory, COCI, one of those many acronyms. And we're hoping to roll that out in the spring of 2017, because until we change the way we do our business, we still need to have all our curriculum in an inventory. CSU and UC does not, and we may get there someday, but we need to take these first steps. So lovingly, you will hear more about something called COCI. We are developing, as Dolores said, and we'll be conducting curriculum workshops. This, while we just made your eyes a little blurred, well, think about the 20,000 faculty that we have out there. You're going to get to do this all differently. But this is the way I learned it. You're going to get to do it differently. So we're going to have to put on a lot of workshops, because this morning we had 1,179 credit courses in our curriculum queue, because everybody just came back, right, from the so they dumped them all in here because they finished their work on the campuses, and we should have to go through this. We don't want to do this. We want the faculty to do their work on a college campus, their local boards of trustees to support it, and we chapter it, and then it's in the system so you can teach it. So now when you do all of this, you have to write new guidelines, because we are a bureaucracy and we want to make sure those guidelines work. So we're going to have to write new guidelines for the colleges. And then, as Dolores said, we'll kick off those new processes for the Curriculum Institute. Now here's the deal. We have credit course curriculum. That's what we're talking about. As a part of credit courses and credit programs, we have something called ADTs. So we can't just open that up and shoot it out and say, okay, whatever you want, just do your ADTs. We have a lot of work with the associate degree for transfer to work with the CSUs. So we'll be doing that work in tandem, because eventually we would like everything done exactly the same way. Now, here's the interesting part. Then we have something called non-credit. Non-credit has entries into Title V about 8 different places than credit. So we have to do that the second generation of this. So the first generation is credit courses and programs, no matter what those look like. ADTs will come along as we work with our colleagues at CSU. And then next year, we'll start the process of non-credit. So we don't screw everybody up at one time. We're going to go very slow and methodic and appropriate. These two women are doing such an incredible job of bringing everybody along with us, because we meet with 5C once a month, and we really work hard at trying to find all the little places that we're going to have a problem. If we have a problem with curriculum, we have a problem with accreditation. If we have a problem with curriculum, we have a problem with students transferring. If we have a problem with curriculum, our guided pathways won't work. We have to put it all in place, and curriculum kind of runs the whole show. So it took us about a year. It took me about a year to figure out where the problems were, and then we got all the right people in place, and they have just been running with it since then. So I think you're going to hear. We'll try not to glaze over every time. We'll try not to get in the weeds, but we'll try to bring it back very appropriately and thoughtfully as we change this process.
Okay. I have questions, but we're first going to hear from our only member of the public on every item, Julie Bruno. But Julie, we cherish your opinions.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
We cherish her too. She's our beloved president.
So hello again. I would really just like to say that the significance of this work cannot be overstated. These folks have been working really, really hard to get this all done. It started about 2 or 3 years ago, and the Workforce Task Force recommendations really provided the catalyst to kind of spur it forward. Pam, Dean Jackie Escajeda at the Chancellor's office, my colleagues on 5C, have just been doing phenomenal work, and we would like to really express our gratitude for that. The other thing is, know that the Academic Senate, like Dolores said, was really going to be working to do the professional development. There will be regional meetings, there will be workshops, there will be the Curriculum Institute. I am here to invite each and every one of you to join us so that you too may participate and feel the excitement that is curriculum and the significance of these changes as we move forward in our system, because you will not see a greater larger group of faculty and classified staff and CIOs, 700 come together at the Curriculum Institute and celebrate all of this. So it's going to be a party. You all are very much welcome to come. So, and thank you very much to all of my colleagues.
Thank you, Julie.
Okay, we're going to open up to question, but I'm using the chair's prerogative to just ask a direct question. How is this helping us do the CTE, Strong Workforce Task Force, accelerating the program, the approval of curriculum? And I'll ask this to the Vice Chancellor, and maybe Chancellor Houston can add. So I got what's going in the far north, and that it's a pilot, but how is that getting sent out to advance recommendation 8 of the Strong Workforce Task Force?
So in the rollout of the $200 million the Strong Workforce Program, first we did 6 months of rollout to the field on the new data system because the Strong Workforce Program rests on the launch board.
Right.
And then by the end of this month, all the regions and the local colleges will be submitting their plans on how they will use the Strong Workforce dollars. So the timing is great in terms of now the technical assistance to improve and streamline the curriculum because we need to get those curriculum ready.
And Chancellor Houston?
And the second piece of that is that middle leg of curriculum work, the regional review and regional recommendation. In our project, we convened the staff leadership of all of the workforce regions in the system.
Oh.
And they developed a single process by which each of the regions would review and have committed to essentially a 30-day or less review and recommendation process. We learned, interestingly, that some of the regions' staff were reviewing individual course outlines of record. That's beyond the scope of the role of the region's work. So it was really a convening that identified best practices, but then resulted in a set of standard practices for each of the regions. So we're expecting a sweeping improvement then when it comes to actually within each of the regions, colleges being able to identify, develop, and deploy curriculum.
Okay. All right. So I've got in the queue so far.
Can I just, let me just, if a faculty member has written a piece of curriculum and it goes through the college and goes through the region and it goes to the Board of Trustees of their local district, that's about I think if you look at it in a semester process, but it has to get into the course schedule before we can teach it, right? So instead of a 2-year process to start a new program, it looks like it will work better in about a semester process or in quarters,
right.
A couple of quarters. So when you say it's in the fall semester, it's September, we're going through the process, we get it all in place, they should be able to teach it in the spring semester starting in late January. That's what we're trying to get
That's
to.
great clarity.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got Shaw, Epstein.
I think she answered mine.
Anybody else? Lansky. Okay, Haynes. Go ahead, Valerie.
No, I think you answered. I just want to know how you're going to measure success. In other words, are you going to reduce the implementation time by 50%? Or, how are you going to?
Oh, hand it to me.
Nice.
It's always the faculty.
I want to share this
you
bounty of opportunity.
I love this woman, I really do. I'll kill her later, but I love her. I think there's going to be a number of different ways we're going to be able to do this, that we're going to be able to measure that success. Part of it will be how much more quickly we can deploy programs. And we know that there are some barriers that we cannot fix. One of those, and I'll be blunt, is boards of trustees that only review curriculum once a year.
Right, right.
That's an issue. Just plain and simple, that's an issue. So those are the kinds of things that the Chancellor's office and that this organization, this body, would be able to possibly take on and tell them, listen, this is silly. Why are you only reviewing curriculum once a year or once every 6 months? That's not going to work. We found with the North Far North pilot, which I was one of the Academic Senate representatives on that. I've been doing a lot of curriculum, and I've been seeing a lot of Doug, so and Virginia and everybody else. But it's okay. It's not a bad thing. But one of the things we found out is that Lake Tahoe College has to wait for LMI data from Nevada. And LMI data is labor market indicators data, which they're required to do. They have to show that for their regional recommendation. Nevada drags their feet. It takes them 6 months to get that information from them, where in California they can get it in a month or less. So those are the kinds of things that we won't be able to necessarily fix, but we hopefully will be able to push. I think the other thing that's going to really demonstrate that this is successful is that the Chancellor's office is going to be able to take on a new role in academic affairs. They're not going to be spending days on end looking at the queue. And our goal is to get rid of the queue on Q Street when it comes to curriculum. Thank you. That's actually trademarked. And I'm just kidding. And have the Chancellor's office participate more in training, in professional development with the Academic Senate as the leaders of that, but with that, so that we have better curricular decisions, stronger curriculum, better programs that benefit all of our students and our faculty.
Okay.
So when I said there are 1,179 new credit courses in the curriculum queue today, that should not be the case when we do this right. The college or district boards of trustees will approve the curriculum that their faculty have written and endorsed. It'll come to us through a technology, and it'll just move to get them a control number. We will not be sitting in our little offices with our green visors saying, I'm not sure that's a good course to teach.
Okay.
That'll help.
Okay, so Vice President Epstein.
I just have a question about some of the vernacular that was used. You called it a piece of curriculum. Is that a syllabus? How would one describe that? But you were the one who said it.
Okay, I'll be happy to say it.
Let's be brief in our responses.
A piece of curriculum is one piece of curriculum, one curriculum course that comes through. If it's a series of courses in a program, we have to look at every course now. And what we're trying to do is get away from one course, one piece of curriculum that we see. We should not have to do that on every course or every program when we get to this better place.
Board Member Burdick. Did I get that right? No, Belansky. Sorry.
Does that mean that the Program and Course Approval Handbook 6th edition is going to be updated?
Virginia will take that.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, so what happened, Joseph, is right in the middle of this process of writing the new Program and Course Approval Handbook, the PCAW. We then were able to implement some of these changes. So as you notice, it's been a shift. It's been a shift. And so we need to get that out to the field with our white paper as well.
And
Yes.
what will the white paper be about?
So it's going to try to capture some of the history leading up to this. And, in our estimation, there was a lot of good folks doing a lot of good work, but some scope creep over the years. And so we want to really hone back into Title V and Ed Code. And so we'll have some of the background on that. And then we'll have both these new certifications and a guide to the field for what this means. So when we say, and not to get too into the weeds, but when we say that we can add a new course to an existing program, what does that mean locally? And to give some guidance on that.
And there will be Title V changes coming here for review and approval.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Packaged neatly in one. Thank you. Board Member Haynes.
So I just want to make certain that I sort of understand. This is strictly for CTE.
No.
It is for ADTs as well?
Everything.
No, so
Everything.
it's for everything.
So we're starting with credit, courses, and programs, but we're going to have to take a little time to, we're going to leave the ADTs off till we spend some very significant time with our CSU colleagues. But so everything that is credit, courses, and programs will come under this Title V opportunity. And then we'll address ADTs along the way. And then next year we'll do non-credit.
So this is sort of step one.
Step one.
Okay, and so the 1,179 pieces are they all in one category, that or they're just all over the place? They could be, okay.
They could be history, biology, they could be workforce agenda, they could be any number of courses come into the queue every day.
So the ones that that are dealing with. So I always see when I'm now looking at this, I see the Workforce and Economic Development Program and courses to fall under CTE. And as such, when I was looking at this, and that's the reason why I needed this clarification, I was looking at it from the lens of that we're sort of doing away with the Chancellor's office sort of having to go through step by step. And so I'm correct up to that point. So what are we doing? Those 1,179 that are all over the place, are we going to be then sending back those that are single courses and saying we now have this new process in?
So when a college does their curriculum, they put it into what is now the curriculum inventory, not this new one, and they could submit it by any number of courses that are going through their regular curriculum committee, which includes CTE courses, but they're all curriculum and they're
Right.
all credit. So they could also be sending a package of courses that are a program and or an ADT. So
Right, okay.
we have all those pieces of curriculum that are there. What the goal is for us to streamline this process is to have all that brilliant work go on campuses that go on now. But when they package it, it will be approved by their local boards of trustees that say, yes, we really believe in this automotive program and we want it to go forward and we agree. That will come to the Chancellor's office for us to give a control number
Control
to
number
it.
2. Okay.
But we won't sit and define all the work that's in it.
Okay. Thank you.
Member Sumner.
So tying in with veterans credit, this will really benefit them because they'll, if they want to do the transfer, the curriculum will be there. It's not if they're going to that college, it'll be in this wonderful library where they can get credit. Because I was just reading what, the Obama with legislation they changed in San Bernardino with, for credits and stuff like that. So how will this really benefit the veterans? Because I can see where it really will.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to benefit students. It's going to benefit students in a variety of different ways. One of the other parts of this that we're looking at is catalog rights. Because one of the problems with any kind of curriculum updates or anything like that is having to get it into a schedule. And if your catalog has already been printed and you can't get that information out in time, that delays it by another 6 months or whatever, and that prevents students from being able to take advantage of their benefits. It prevents them from being able to use their GI Bill for those courses and so on. So one of the things that we're looking at is how we can redefine catalog rights and how we can redefine what is in the catalog in terms of things like, can you publish an addendum to a catalog that has a specific date, and will that count for Veterans Affairs? Because a lot of these problems do come up for our veterans more than any other group. And as the former veterans liaison from the Senate, we talked a lot about this, and this is one of the major pieces that's come up in our catalog discussions, is that group of students is most dramatically impacted by that. And so we're definitely looking at that as well.
Because I know that some other states are much more streamlined when it comes to giving the veterans credit. We're
Minnesota is amazing, and several of the others are as well, and I know that that's something that we're looking at as well.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. We have final comments from Chancellor Oakley.
Yes, I just wanted to take a moment to thank the team up here for the work that they're doing. One thing that this points out, and it's a theme that will be reoccurring over the next several years, which is how do we empower the local campuses? Inherent in that, in what I just said, means that there is greater accountability at the local campuses. The reason we have these processes and these bureaucracies is at some point down the line, government stopped trusting the local colleges. For one reason or another, we don't have to go back in history. So it's incumbent upon the college leadership, the academic senate presidents and the college presidents, to ensure that accountability at the local level is working, or we will be sent backwards really quick if we don't get this right. So thank you for your tremendous work.
Thank you very much. Okay, as we're winding down towards the later afternoon, we're going to move on to item 3.8, which is board member reports. And there are many of us, so what I'd like to emphasize is not feel obligated to provide a report, only if there's something you really want to share with your colleagues that you think will advance our mission and where we're trying to head as a board. So I'm actually just going to take any volunteers. We'll just go around the horseshoe if anybody has a report. Board member Baum.
The only thing I want to add is that I left the last board meeting early before I had a chance to. I subsequently heard the comments that Julie Bruno and Larry Galizio and others made, and I wanted to express my personal appreciation for those kind words, and of course you, President Estolano and Vice President Epstein. It's great leading this board, but it's even better to be immediate past president of the board, and I appreciate that. And the only other thing I will add is that I did have the opportunity to attend a reception held in honor of our new chancellor, sponsored by the Campaign for College Opportunity, and it was in Los Angeles, and it was an inspiring demonstration of a multi-sector group coming together in support of our mission and our new leadership from both the business community, the political community, the policy community, and Chancellor Oakley there's great enthusiasm for the future of our system, and I just wanted to report on that.
Okay. Board Member Hawkins.
Thank you, President Stolano. This January meeting, it's near and dear to my heart as the classified representative on the Board of Governors to remind all that can hear my voice and everybody in the room to go out to their schools and get every single district, all 72, to submit a California Community College Classified Employee of the Year application. Thanks to Karen Gilmer, the information went out before the holiday. A reminder will be going out to the field later this week. And the postmark deadline is March 15th. Thank you very much.
Great. Board Member Sumner.
Well, I'm excited to have our new president and our new chancellor, and I'm about deliverables, and I was invited to a couple of colleges with some of the students, but long story short, emergency operations plan back in, Assembly Bill 767 was approved in 2015, and we're supposed to be in January reviewing all of the community college emergency operations plans in January of this year.
Wow.
And so I know this is a report, so going forward, whoever is going to be responsible for those, I would love to see where we are, because they're supposed to be evaluated every 5 years, and we're supposed to be implementing what their active shooter plans are, what we're supposed to be doing. And I know that we're moving forward with it, but I've had multiple students and veterans come up to me saying they don't feel safe at community colleges and campuses, and that they don't feel that there's really a strong emergency operations plan in place. So I'm not going to say which colleges or which campuses, but I think we as a board have to take safety into consideration. And per the Senate bill, it stated January 1st, 2017, and every 5 years, and an active shooter response plan should be being developed, and that's AB 767. So I just want to move forward, but I'm excited to be working with the new chancellor and the new president and moving forward. So thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Sumner. Does anybody, board members, want to give a report? Okay, so we are going to be back in session tomorrow morning at 9. We'll take the last 3 items, unless there are any members of the public who would like to make public comment now. Board Member Hawkins.
Could we have a recap before we adjourn to the evening activities, or what was the schedule?
Ms. Gilmer, would you mind giving us? Yeah.
We're wrapping up a little early. So the reception, those of you that are going to attend the reception at Mix, the ACA and ACBO reception, that starts at 5:30. So if you'd like to, if we're pretty much done, Gary can take those who'd like to go back to the hotel to regroup for a few minutes. He can take you there. We have a shuttle picking people up there at 5:15 to take you to Mix. And then dinner, we'll start rounding you up and taking you just downstairs and around the corner to the restaurant where we're going to have dinner. Like to have people kind of they're about 6:45 and in seats and ordering off the menu at 7 to kind of keep that moving.
Great. Thank you so much.
Right, why don't you raise your hand if you'd like Gary to take you to the embassy, and then I can.
I don't know.
About 6 of
I
you?
think pretty much all of us. I mean, most of us.
All of you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll let him know that he's got some takers.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Fine. We're adjourned.